Karoline Leavitt was confronted about Donald Trump's brain and his MRI. And I have to tell you now, months into this, they still cannot explain what on earth is going on with Donald Trump. Karoline Leavitt knew she would be asked about Trump's MRI. This is the MRI that first they told us nothing about. When Trump let it slip that he had an MRI, they wouldn't tell us what part of the body was scanned. But Trump told us it's perfect. It was the best MRI anyone's ever seen. Karoline Leavitt delivers the following word salad. And although it's 98% drivel, there are some little hints in there about what might be going on. So let's listen to her answer, if you can call it that.
And can I
Danny.
follow up on the MRI? Because President Trump yesterday said that he would release the results of his MRI. Is that happening right now?
It is happening right now. As part of, and this is a summary from the president's physician, and we will release it.
Now consider whether this is actually an MRI summary, okay?
Right now, I think my team has it teed up for all of you. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health.
So right now she's basically saying it was just preventive. It was screening. This is not typically done. This is not first line.
The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify any issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure the president maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing impairing blood flow or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns. In summary, this level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that he remains in excellent overall health. Again, we will provide that to you. I think that's quite a bit of detail, and in the effort of transparency, the president promised it last night, and we have delivered today. So
now, if you believe that that is an MRI report, okay, remember that none of this crap makes any sense. Preventive MRIs that were not even included in the report. Question one, why wasn't it in the report? Number two, MRI is not a first-line tool for routine cardiovascular and abdominal screening. Now, there is this thing where wealthy people will sometimes get a full body MRI. There's companies that do it, like there's one called Pernuvo, and some celebrities get it. But they're not saying that that was what was done. They could say that. They could, from the beginning, they just could have said, oh, there's these full body MRIs that people get now. We got it. And there was just absolutely nothing on it. Trump was perfect. That's all. The fact that they've been so cagey, and now they go, well, it was for the cardiovascular system and abdominal. Meanwhile, oftentimes on cardiovascular screening, you would look at the arteries in the neck for calcium, but that's often done by CT. Like, if everything about this doesn't really make any sense. And of course, what every doctor that writes to me is saying is, if you're going to do a full abdominal cardiovascular MRI, you would be explaining, or at least having some kind of clinical reason why you selected that over what would normally be done. Maybe it's a stress test, or it's very difficult to believe that in an asymptomatic 79-year-old, supposedly asymptomatic 79-year-old with no concerns, you would do this type of MRI. It just, none of it makes any sense. It continues to read like propaganda documents. Now, Karoline Leavitt then said that the story from the New York Times that claimed Trump is tired and is working a limited schedule, she says that story is fake. Remember that 2 days ago, they also said the second bombing story was fake. now they've confirmed it. But she says, no, this one's definitely fake.
And I will point out one fake news story over the weekend before I let you all go, from the New York Times that took about 1/3 of the president's daily calendar and his daily schedule and said that he's doing less than he did in his first term, or he might not be fit for the job. That is unequivocally false, and it's deeply unfortunate that this story was written by the same outlet and the same reporter who wrote this: Biden is doing 100% fine after tripping while boarding Air Force One. Oh, same outlet, same reporter who wrote that President Trump is not fit for the job. Are you?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, what's deceptive is the article she's holding up. It's relevant to Biden tripping. Like, is his leg okay? Is his foot okay? That's all that article is about. Karoline Leavitt wants you to believe that it's about something different.
Kidding me? You all see him almost every single day. He is the most accessible president in history. He is taking meetings around the clock. Another one. Biden declared, quote, healthy and vigorous after his first presidential physical. I don't see headlines like that too often about this president. Again, same reporter.
I see him all the time in what his doctors put out.
Same outlet who wrote falsely over the weekend that President Trump is not fit for the job. I can assure you he absolutely is. You all see that with your own eyes on a daily basis, and the president's physician has now given you all 3 detailed reports on the state of the president's health.
Is everybody happy with that? And by the way, what Karoline Leavitt held up and read also was not the assessment of the New York Times. It was just a quote from Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary at the time. And what's so funny about that is Karoline Leavitt wants you to believe that statements like that can't be trusted. Well, she is now in the position of Karine Jean-Pierre, and she's using almost the exact same language about Donald Trump. If we should have been skeptical then about Biden, then of course we should be skeptical right now as well. I don't even think we need to listen to what Karoline Leavitt says. I think we only need to look at Trump and listen to Trump, and that tells us most of what we need to know. Let me know in the comments, what do you believe the MRI was really about? Make sure you've liked this video. Hit that subscribe button as well. Donald Trump has already packed his second-term cabinet with loyalists. He's threatened deportation as political punishment. He's expanded executive authority in ways we have not seen in modern history. These are real changes that are happening right now. And what's even more alarming is that a lot of the media is either glossing over the worst of it or they're reframing it so it all sounds a little more palatable. And that is why I use Ground News. This is a news comparison tool. Doesn't just feed you headlines. It shows you here's how different outlets, left, right, center, are covering the same story. And this is one of the few tools I know of that can really help you detect the political spin, the bias, catch stories that your usual sources might downplay or not cover at all, on everything from immigration policy to economic shifts. If you want to get a bigger picture, a broader picture of what's being reported, Ground News is an invaluable source to keep you informed. And Ground News is offering my audience 40% off their top tier Vantage plan. You'll only pay $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pakman or enter the code Pakman in the app to get started. The link is in the description.